says this. He says, if I never asked to be born, put on this earth, why do I get punished for eternity just because I don't want to go through hardships and not place my faith in Jesus? So that is a pretty sounding objection there. So any thoughts towards that?
Yeah. Again, what would make you think, not you, but what would make a person decide that that's not something that they wanted? How would they know that? How would they be able to know that and decide that I didn't want to be born? You wouldn't know anything until you were here, right? So you wouldn't have the information until you were here as to why you were even here. And again, I think that all questions have some legitimate space to them, but the question would be is you're saying that, which I actually think is a really good question, but you wouldn't even know anything about that until you were here. And you're saying, again, back to what we said earlier, I want to live. So if I'm going to be here, then I want to live the way that I want to live. Here's the beautiful thing about wanting to live the way that you want to live. This is the beautiful thing about wanting to live the way you live. You can. You can do you. You can do whatever you want to do at any time. It's completely up to you. What you are not free to choose, however, are the consequences that come with your decisions. That's the only part. But you can live however you want to live. You listen, free. I'll just use my kids for an example. They're all adults now, but let me say this to you. I used to tell them, you have as much freedom as you keep me out of. As soon as when you include me because you go against something that we said in here, now I'm in control of the little bit of freedom that you did have. Of the freedom, you're free to go out, so make good decisions. Because if we're not, then I'll put you, the same thing happens with our penal system. Go out and rob a store tonight, get caught. They have something where they're going to put you in there, and now they're going to control your life. God says the same thing to us. You see, here's the question. We don't ask questions about that, about the prison system. We don't ask those kind of questions. We say, well, why would God do this and then make me go to hell if this, well, God, not one is it sending you to hell. Your rejection of God is sending you to hell. Two, we never ask those questions like that. Some of those people will go out and just live a life of hell, just act like a hellion and go to prison for it or whatever, whatnot. They don't ask, why do I got to go to prison for killing that person? They never ask that. Never ask that. Only with God do we come up with those types of questions, all in an attempt to be our own God. Truthfully, at the end of the day, that's what it boils down to. I want to be God for myself and decide what I want to do. That would be my answer.
Yeah. I'm trying to think, man, because I've heard that, and that was really good thoughts too, by the way, BD. I've heard that, man, like, and it comes off in a few different ways. It comes off really, really challenging first and foremost, but really, really almost an arrogant attitude, as if like, oh well, why is it a must that I have to put my faith here, and instead of really, again, as PD alluded to, what I want to believe, what I want to do. There's really a huge lack of self-awareness in that moment, I tend to believe. Self-awareness about the human condition, the human heart, where you are, who you really are. Because if you were really honest with yourself, you know that you need more than what you've decided to kind of put your faith in that's like outside of truth, right? You just haven't really purposed to pursue it. And so anytime, and here's what's crazy. I really believe that is a conversation that's probably most had. If there was a statistic out there, and I don't know this for a fact, so please don't quote me on this, but I'm sure that is an answer that would predominantly reside in these United States. or should I say yet to be United States. Okay. I'm pretty sure that that's a response that's here because we don't really like authority. Like we don't give two fluffs about authority around here. We live in a democracy. We all have a voice. We all have a say in when everything goes. And not to say that that is bad, but we do understand that there are some effects to that create paradigms that really don't fit the spiritual life that not only Jesus offers, but really essentially who Jesus is. And so I say that because people are taking that as like, oh, you're challenging my authority. You're challenging my decision making. You're telling me that I'm not in control, and I don't like that.
Right.
So I'm not trying to do anything that causes me to not be in the seat of my own life and destiny. And I think that has a lot of root in it here in these states, man. People just do what they want, say what they want, and expect no consequences, expect nothing to come their way, and expect it all to be well. And if you don't get with it, well, get lost, right? And it's just that direction, man. And I think it harms. So when we start talking to people about Jesus and about what he has to offer and about the kingdom and about all these other kinds of things, they're out of there, man. They don't really want it, or they just don't understand it, therefore they don't want it, right? It kind of leans into both ways. And so, yeah, I think there's just a huge challenge of one's authority and decision making. You can't tell me what to do. You don't mess with the authority. I mean, again, you have all the right to do that. But as PD mentioned, yeah, you don't have to respect the local police, but I dare you to do something silly. See if you don't end up caught in taking some pictures talking about you in the holding cell for the weekend because you want to go up and get up and act up. So it just because I don't like what's offered to me doesn't mean that what's offered to me isn't real. Just because I don't like the authority that's above me doesn't mean that the authority isn't present. I just have a choice, man. I just have a choice. And so I think in that context, man, I think there's a lot of that there. And it's kind of sad, but it's understandable because of the context and culture we live in. And so much that's pushed out and influenced on social media. You wake up and go to bed with it in your face. You see people getting praised for being, crazy and not thinking in wisdom and moving silly. And so, it's only a matter of time, right? And I think that's kind of where my head's at with that. But those are some good thoughts to share, PD. I thought that was good.
Yeah, man. Good stuff.
What's going on, party people? Listen, if you enjoyed this content, enjoyed these conversations, be sure to check the description below. All right, you can catch the link to the Truth Project. This is where these kinds of conversations are going down weekly, every Thursday night. And so I'm looking forward to seeing you there. As always, until next time, be easy and be breezy. Peace.